Do you guys hear that? Just one sound of that melody, and suddenly I'm craving ice cream and reaching for my wallet to go buy some. Now, the association between ice cream and that melody is a prime example of Pavlovian conditioning. Hi, my name is Micah Jean Della Carcel. I am a student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and I am currently majoring in civil engineering. Now, in the next few minutes, I'll be addressing Ivan Pavlov's experiment, classical conditioning in general, and real-world examples. So let's start with Ivan Pavlov's experiment. Oh my gosh. Ivan Pavlov was a very important figure. He was a Russian scientist who won the Nobel Prize in 1904 due to his work on the physiology of digestion. Now, during his work, he was able to discover the concept of classical conditioning, actually, which was made on accident. During this experiment, Ivan Pavlov was observing dogs' digestion, and while he was bringing them food, he discovered that they started to salivate even before the food was presented right in front of them. So he decided to test something out. During this, he used a bell to associate the arrival of food, and so the dogs started to react to the sound of the bell even without the food being brought to them yet, or even without the food being made. They started to salivate. Now that you know about Ivan Pavlov's experiment, let's move on to classical conditioning. Classical conditioning has several parts, including the unconditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, neutral stimulus, conditioned response, and conditioned stimulus. So for these pictures, we can see that the unconditioned stimulus is the food, the unconditioned response is the dog salivating at the sight of food, and we have the neutral stimulus, which has no correlation with any of these at all, but yeah, there's no response from the dog. But when you start conditioning, you put together the unconditioned stimulus and the neutral stimulus in order to create an association and a connection in the brain of the subject, so that, it'll continue to respond to the stimulus even if the regular unconditioned stimulus is taken away. As you can see in this picture, the bell is just being presented to the dog, and yet it's still salivating even without the presence of food. Now, let's move on to some real-world examples. Pavlovian conditioning, or classical conditioning, can be seen in almost every aspect of our lives, and a big one is in advertisements. Now, you see in these ads, they use very good visuals, popular models, or popular celebrities, or they use very good colors, bright colors, warm filters and such, so that you will be more inclined to buy their products. For example, this Cat's Eye Gap ad. This Gap ad was very good visually, and so it made me more inclined to want to buy their products, including this Big Mac here. Doesn't that look really good? Pavlovian conditioning. This gecko here, what do you associate that with? Geico. Coca-Cola. There's also an association here with Christmas, warm feelings, fun times, happiness. They make you want to buy their products more. So I have a little more examples over here. Phone notifications. Whenever you hear the ring or a buzz of your phone, or anyone's phone actually, you immediately check your phone because you just have been conditioned to pick up your phone from the sound because you believe that you got a notification. And there are some other examples here, but I am low on time. So I really hope you have learned something about Pavlovian conditioning, To briefly recap, I went over the origins of Pavlov's discovery. I went over the classical conditioning in general and some real-world applications. So, according to Ivan Pavlov's experiment, we are able to understand that learning is not always a conscious process. Sometimes our brains will learn unknowingly without us being actually fully aware of it. And understanding that is actually the first step to learning how to control your emotions, reactions, and feelings. Mahalo.